Hi, good morning. Thank you for joining me today as we walk through our exciting new initiative here at LMN, which is our Estimating Marketplace. My name is Pete, and I am an account executive here at LMN. Over the years, I've worked with thousands of contractors to help them manage and grow their businesses, and I'm very excited to carry forward my experience and insights into the vendor and supplier world. Today, I will walk you through a live webinar of how our software platform will provide you a firsthand glimpse into how our estimating marketplace is going to be a game changer for the landscape industry. So I'm going to jump into the product now. So in terms of the LMN platform, so just to preface, for those who aren't familiar with our company, since 2008, we have been working with landscape contractors to provide them with a business management solution to help them manage their business and grow. So all the way from the first point of contact with their clients and leads through our CRM, all the way down to the final stages of invoicing and everything in between. But with respect to the estimating marketplace, we're going to focus on one area in particular, which is our estimating platform. But before we jump into the estimating platform, I just want to preface what we call our item catalog. So our item catalog is essentially a database of products and items that landscape contractors would be using to help bid their jobs. So as you see on the left-hand side, there are items like labor, equipment, subcontractors, rentals, for example. But the main area of focus where the estimating marketplace comes in is onto the material section. So as we jump into the material section, prior to the LMN estimating marketplace, we were asking contractors to build their own lists and either reach out to their vendors and procure it on their own, or they can obviously manually build it on themselves. Now, aside from it being a time-consuming exercise, the other respect that our clients have voiced is that it doesn't give them access to real up-to-date pricing. And that's where the marketplace came in. So this has been the single most requested feature from our clients over the years, is the ability to have an up-to-date product list to help them bid their jobs more accurately for profit. The other aspect that we've been asking for is visibility to other vendors. So at the end of the day, if I'm a contractor and I want that edge, I want to make sure that I have a big pool to pick from when it comes to sourcing my materials. Now, with the estimating marketplace, there are two ways that they'll be able to find you within their material catalog. The first way is by searching for an actual product. Now, as you see in the middle of the screen here, they can either type in a name, they can also adjust radius based on the distance of the job site they're working on, and they can also apply categories with respect to what type of item they're looking for. Now in this situation, I'm just going to type in an orchid. So what you're seeing here is based on my search criteria and the radius and categories that I've set, it's returned some items with respect to a local vendor near me with products with these same results. So as a contractor, what I can do now is click on one of these products and learn more about this item. So based on the information that was provided by the vendor, here's everything that I need in order to make sure that this is something that I'm looking for. Now, more importantly, the other option they have is to view more information on the vendor. So now I have a direct line of sight with respect to who this vendor is and how I can get a hold of them to make sure that I contact them about procurement. Now, if this is an item that is going to be purchased on a regular basis, I also have the option to add this back into my catalog. So from a customer's perspective, I can now take my vendor's items and push them backwards into my own material catalog. That way it saves me time as well. So in summary, on this page that we're seeing here, it essentially gives me that shopping list that I've been looking for. And this lands well with the current base of online shopping that we see now with other e-commerce websites. So this lands well with what our clients have been asking for and just current buyer trends as well. The other aspect is they can search for vendors directly. So similar criteria to what I showed you on the last page, but at least here, I can now search for vendors near me. Again, gaining more visibility to other vendors near me so that I can source and find where I can get the best rate. Or the idea here as well is just to make sure I have my options open too. So in summary, on this page here directly on the catalog, this has been the popular request from our customers, and we have now given this tool as a platform for them to answer that question. Now, this is where it gets really exciting, and I'm going to switch over into an estimate. So what you're seeing on this screen here, and again, as an LMN contractor, this is where I am living and breathing in the system. And this is where I build my jobs to make sure I price my work for profit. So for example, if I'm working on this project here, let's say it's a backyard planting project, And beneath it, I have all of my items that I've been working on with respect to getting this job done. So I've built out my labor, I've built out my equipment, and then now I'm going to start building out materials that I need in terms of softscapes or hardscape items. So what a contractor would be doing is on the right-hand side, they would be opening up their catalog. And again, as we've talked about earlier with the item catalog, they have the option of adding labor items, equipment, and then materials. And again, prior to the estimating marketplace, our customers would have to go in and build their own lists. But now with our exciting marketplace in play, they have the option of searching for these items directly while we're working on their estimates. So similar to what I showed you earlier, where I can then type in an item and it will return results. Now, the one important thing to note here is that we are searching based on the radius of the job site that we are working on. So for example, if you have a contractor who's working out of town or across state or province lines, even if they are not out of your home base or within the radius, as long as if the job site is within the radius that you set here, you will come up as a vendor of choice. So same idea with what I showed you earlier. I'll click on one of these items, and then it provides me with the same information to learn more about this product. But again, most importantly, vendor contact information so I can get a hold of them right now. Now, the one key differentiator here to keep in mind is we are striking while the iron is hot. And what I mean is we have an estimator who's building an estimate right in this moment. They're looking for this item. They now have your contact information, and now I can get on the horn and jump on this to make sure I can secure this product. So unlike traditional methods where an estimator might have to bid out their job, pause, maybe a million other things come out through the day where they're now busy and then this gets pushed onto the back shelf. This is something where a contractor can work on right away, call a vendor, get in touch with you, and this is an option for you to close that deal and land those materials right on the spot. And to make life easy for everyone involved here, both on the contractor and the vendor perspective, we can also help you generate reports. One of them is our purchase order reports, where based on the estimate that they were just working on, you now have your shopping list in terms of all the items that you've estimated, including all of the descriptions, the quantities, and most importantly, the SKUs, so that now we are making your procurement process even easier. And just one thing to clarify as well, with respect to how all of this is going to work, we are not looking to complicate your current process with how you handle procurement. The estimating marketplace is essentially a tool to connect vendors and contractors right in the moment of when they're looking to bid their jobs, so that at the end of the day, we can help everyone grow. So after the procurement process of contacting a vendor and getting a hold of them, you are still going to manage your business the same way you do beyond there. So again, we're not looking to add or complicate any additional steps. Now, I'm sure everyone who's attending here has some questions on pricing. So packages, we make it really simple. So in terms of pricing, we have 3 packages, and it's based on the radius that you wish to have visibility in. So as a vendor, if I want to be visible within 30 miles or kilometers, then the local package would be for me. If that's not enough and you would like 100 miles or kilometers, then the 129 would work out. And if you serve across multiple states or nationally, then the enterprise market is where we would come in and have a conversation to discuss a rate that makes sense for you. Now, the one thing to be clear, and I'm sure you can see the page, is that's it. All the pricing that you see here is as is. So it's a simple recurring or annual rate, depending on which subscription you wish to go with. But we do not charge for support. We don't charge based on your number of SKUs. So you could be uploading 50 items or 50,000 items, and we will charge you the same rate. But more importantly, there's no hidden transaction or percentage or commission fees that are going on as well. Again, at the end of the day, we just want to connect vendors and contractors, and we're not looking to take anything on top of any sales that you make from here. So to be clear, with respect to the pricing that you see here, it's easy to budget, it's easy to forecast, there's no surprises, or we won't penalize you if you have a heavy selling month. We want to make sure that we keep this nice and consistent. So with that respect, that's the whole tour of the software. Again, it's really nothing complicated. We just want to connect vendors and contractors. And what I'm going to do is before we jump into the Q&A, I just want to touch on a couple of resources that we offer as well. So appreciating that we do have some customers on the webinar, as well as customers who happen to have a landscape operation and a nursery or garden center. Again, we just want to make sure that we remind everyone that we have a whole bunch of resources to make sure that we support our client base. So for vendors and suppliers who are joining on the call, you know that LMN has your clients. Again, we have mutual clients in respect here, and we have their back. We want to make sure that we set them up for success, because at the end of the day, if a contractor is successful, so are we, and so are vendors and suppliers. And then just another two things we offer here as well is our user groups. So again, for both LMN customers or possibly for vendors, if you're looking to expand your reach with the contractor base, these are two resources that you can take a look at to see if you have a community that you want to expand upon. And again, we all have the same common objective, and that's to grow and succeed. So what we can do now is we can jump into Q&A. Again, I've left my contact information here as well too. So if we don't have enough time to get through all of the questions, we will make sure that we reach out to you personally to make sure we get those questions answered. But if you wanted to reach out to us directly, my contact information is there, as well as our toll-free number. But we will turn it over into questions now. So bear with me as I sift through them. Perfect. So the first question I have here is, I negotiate my material prices depending on many factors such as volume purchase or shipping distance. What material pricing would I list in LMN's marketplace? That's a fantastic question, and that's probably one of the top questions that we receive every time we speak with a new vendor or supplier that's interested. So at the end of the day, we typically recommend either having your typical book price or MSRP. At the end of the day, again, there's a quick note when a contractor clicks on a material item to contact you for accurate pricing. So typically what we see, what other vendors have gone ahead with, is they'll put their book price or their MSRP under the expectation that when a contractor calls, they're going to clarify, again, based on volume or possibly shipping, they'll clarify any additional charges that might have to come with the pricing as well. But book or MSRP, there's also another option in case you don't want to list any pricing at all. We can simply put a check button for them to have to say contact the vendor for final pricing as well. Another question here is, how long does it take to get your information into the system? So we've made it as simple as getting it into an Excel spreadsheet or a .csv file. So if you are able to get your information onto some sort of a, let's say, spreadsheet, it's just a simple copy and paste. Now, in that respect, if you don't have access to your items being on a spreadsheet, let's say they're on a PDF or a Word document, we will work with you to convert your data over into this spreadsheet, but it's as simple as that. Once we have your items on the spreadsheet, they're going to be uploaded into the system. And to fast forward, it's going to be the same idea with updating your pricing. So if your pricing changes throughout the season or it fluctuates, you simply have to upload your most recent price list, and it will simply overwrite your data so that you have recent pricing in our catalog as well. Okay, and another question I have here is, I already have an e-commerce channel on my website. What difference does LMN's Estimating Marketplace offer that my website doesn't? That's a fantastic question. So nothing excites us more when we see a vendor or supplier have an e-commerce platform on their website, because that shows us that there's a value in having a digital presence. Now, the difference with our estimating marketplace, however, is, and I mentioned this before, is we're giving you the opportunity to strike while the iron is hot. So again, we have a contractor right in that exact moment of building an estimate, and I need to get this done. They now have your contact information to get a hold of you, and right at that moment, you can secure that deal. So the difference being is, without having to access another web page or another click to get the information I'm looking for, they're right in that exact moment of bidding their job, which is exactly the right moment when you want to get a hold of them as well too. So that's a great question. Okay. And another question on our pricing changes based on availability. So as mentioned, as long as if you have your spreadsheets available, you can upload into your account up to 6 times on the local or regional package. And on the enterprise level, that's something that we can have in terms of supporting you to make sure that we do that for you as well. Okay, and then I have another question here for, I was considering a similar platform, but the pricing fluctuated based on a percentage or commission on the number of sales that was generated through them. Do you take a percentage off of sales? So no, again, just to reiterate on our pricing. So everything that was on our pricing page there, it's a flat rate. So we want to make sure that we allow the same opportunity that we've been providing our contractors, where we want to give vendors and suppliers, peace of mind. So you have a flat rate to worry about. It's going to be easy to budget and forecast for. So again, even if you have a heavy selling month, it's not something where you have to consider, oh my gosh, how much is this expenditure going to be for me? It's a flat rate, no matter which way you wish to go with that. We ship across the entire eastern seaboard. How much would this cost me? That's a great question. So the enterprise package might be right for you. Again, after this webinar, we'd be more than happy to have a discussion. Essentially, we just want to try and figure out, what radius, what states, what provinces would you like visibility in, and then we'll make sure that we come back with a rate that makes sense for you and your business as well. All right, and I think we have. Just double checking to see if we have any additional questions, but I think I've covered them all. Oh, we have one. So we have I guess we have someone who's asking, what does LMN stand for? So LMN is the Landscape Management Network. Again, we've been in business since 2008, helping the contractor world with making sure that we help landscape businesses grow and prosper. And essentially, as an arm to that, the estimating marketplace is a way that we can allow our contractors to flourish with having up-to-date pricing and making sure that we have built their jobs for profit as well. Oh, and another question just came in. Can we turn this off to save during the off season and or the winter months? That's a fantastic question. So on the monthly subscription, there's no cancellation fee, there's no termination fee. You simply just have to give us 30 days notice. That's the minimum requirement that we ask, and then you're able to turn it off. So yes, no problem there. And oh, here, another question just came in. So how can I direct my vendors to get more information about the estimating marketplace? That's a great question. So this might be better for a visual. So if you are an existing LMN customer and you would like to invite your vendors to join, so there's two ways you can do this. So directly from your material catalog, so as you see on the screen here, on the right-hand side, there's a blue button on the top right corner where you can click this invite vendor. Essentially what it does is it generates an email for you to send out to your vendor. So, think of your point of contact that you've been dealing with for years, right? So if you're working with Jim or Sally at ABC Landscape Supply, this email would be who you'd be sending it to. So ideally, send it directly to them. If you can include their phone number, that would be great. So every time you invite a vendor, we will also reach out on your behalf. So we'll say, hey, we noticed Bob from ABC Landscape Company referred you. We think you're going to be a great fit and happy to talk more. So when you're inviting your vendors, just simply send it to whoever you've been contacting with over the years, and this is who we'll also follow up with to make sure that we get them on board as well. And I believe that is it. I'll give it another few seconds here, but I'm just scrolling through to make sure I didn't miss anything, but I think we've got them all. Okay, and again, if maybe someone else in your company, or maybe you have a colleague that you'd like to watch to have attend one of these demos, we are hosting this for the next 2 Fridays as well at the exact same time. So if you'd like to tag along, maybe get your team members into the break room and everyone wants to take a look, we'd like to invite you again for the next 2 Fridays at the same time today. Or again, if you have any vendors or colleagues that you would like to share this with, please, you can visit our webpage and share the link with them as well there too. But I believe that's it. So thank you for your time. Thanks for sitting down with me. And again, please reach out. I'll just put my contact information up on the screen again one last time. And if you have any questions, just reach out to us and we'd be more than happy to help you out. But thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy your weekend as well.